Hello and welcome to Birmingham NEC for the Multimodal 2024. I'm here now with Bridgland of Yonder, and we're going to talk about supply chains. Hello, Roy. What do you think so far about Multimodal 2024?
I think it's great. It's an interesting exhibition for us, especially because we're a software supplier. We're not in the logistics industry as such, but we've already had a number of fascinating conversations, and it's establishing quite a bit of a buzz around our stand. So that's been great.
What are the key challenges facing your customers currently in the supply chains?
Yes, it's an interesting one. I think the world has woken up to supply chain over recent years. With so many geopolitical events going on, and also more sort of environmental issues like in the Panama Canal. So I think disruption in the supply chain has been very evident for people. But I think there's also, if you take that as the first point, I think the second point would be the huge growth in e-commerce. So our customers are still working out how to have that sort of omni-channel delivery capability. There's also things like AI. So everybody wants to get in AI, but they're not quite sure how, and our customers come to us then. And I think the last one, and certainly not the least, of course, is sustainability. So everybody's set sustainability targets and goals, but of course, trying to achieve those and still make a profit as a logistics organization is an incredible challenge.
Why, most supply chains are well established and obviously there's flexibility, but why do these challenges create such a problem?
I think what we've witnessed is that supply chains have basically been around for centuries. Obviously, there's been trade going on for many, many years, but a traditional supply chain is quite often quite a linear process. And so I think what we witnessed in the last few years is that they're kind of broken. They're not agile enough. They're too inflexible. And so what this means is that availability of goods is impacting on the store shelves. So everybody has really witnessed it.
Technology is key to supply chains. How would your technology feed in and help your customer?
So our technology is essentially both a combination of supply chain planning and supply chain execution. And so it sits on a common platform. And the advantages of that is that it's completely interoperable. So a lot of supply chain systems these days, that fragmentation is that the systems aren't really in sync with each other. And the reason why that's really helpful to be in sync is because when there is a disruption or an incident, that can be triggered across all of the different areas across the platform and seamlessly addressed. I think the other thing is that because we invested in AI many years ago, we've got models now which are proven. But more than just a proven model in AI, the importance is really around scalability. Because unless you can really scale the solution, it really is only addressing a subset of the supply chain. Because AI is data hungry, and we all know that systems are only ever as good as the data that they can access. So building a good, accurate supply chain model around AI is important to have that wealth of data. And I think the last thing around sustainability is that a lot of organizations report their emissions. But what we're doing, especially in transport optimization, is able to allow the system to optimize based on emissions, not solely on speed and cost.
Supply chains and technology are changing, as you say, changing constantly, and you and your customers have to keep up with those challenges and changes. How do you make sure and support your customers so you can keep up with the challenges and you can pass on that benefit to them?
Yeah, so I think every time we engage with one of the organisations and they move on to then become a customer, we really have to focus on, for their organisation, it's the first time they've done something like this. For us, we do it all the time. That's what we deliver, and so it's very important that we use our industry expertise along with their knowledge of their business, and together come up with a joint plan. And that's really has to be around delivery of value. And so based against that plan, what we're then able to do is build what we refer to as a composable journey, because we're really taking that organization on a major digital transformation to go from end to end across the supply chain. And so that composable journey allows us to say, well, we have a platform, but you're not going to go live with the platform in one day. You're going to go live with elements of it. And we pick those elements based on the value delivery. And that journey may take several years, but it's allowing them to move from what they've got today to a future end state, but delivering value along the way and hitting those sort of sustainability goals, and also ensuring they've got an AI trajectory as well that's going to help them improve overall.
I think that some of the headline points are growth, resilience, and sustainability in the supply chain. How are you managing that? I mean, it sounds like a tremendous challenge for everybody across the entire, from planning, production to delivery and fulfillment and returns even. So how do you help that?
I think for us, because we, from a technology standpoint, we operate on the cloud. And I think one of the key advantages we're able to see with the advances in technology is that cloud computing gives you that elasticity that you wouldn't have traditionally had. And so that was one of the restricting factors that AI, as I mentioned earlier, is very data hungry to have an accurate model. So using the elasticity of the cloud allows you to build up more complex AI models that are more efficient, more effective, but also dealing with sudden increases in volumes, for example. Again, is something that that cloud capability helps with.
You spoke about data hungry. Is that hunger going to grow and grow and grow, or is there going to come a point where we've got so much information and data we don't need any more to add on?
I think it will grow, but it's a case of determining what amount of data a certain organization needs. And when we're developing or tailoring the AI solution for that customer, it's what parameters or what models have the best impact. So if we take a forecasting example as a case in point, when you're looking at demand forecasting, instead of a traditional approach which would potentially be a group of products, what is the forecasted sales based on a statistical algorithm, what we're now able to do is to take item, location, and literally day of the year and say, what is going to really influence the sales of that product in that location on that day of the year? So that takes all things like weather and seasonality and any other component. And so the more components we add, the wider the data spread is. But that's what really can deliver the benefits through AI. So it is, when I say it's data hungry, it's really to achieve the best result. Now, I think the other challenge a lot of our customers have, we come back to that, is whenever we go into an organization, there's still some Excel spreadsheet somewhere. And that's one of the challenges that organizations have if it's on an Excel spreadsheet, it's not in the system. If it's not in the system, we can't leverage the data that's there. So part of their journey for some organizations is literally just digitizing things, getting it onto a system. Once it's on the system, then we can leverage that data, because that's where the gold is. That's when we can really work out how to improve the supply chain.
That's great. Well, thank you, Roy, for giving that insight, and good luck for Blue Yonder and yourself at Multimodal 2024. Thank you for spending the time.
Thank you very much.